Hello, good morning. Happy Earth Month, everyone, and welcome to the third annual President's Sustainability Advisory Committee Sustainability Summit. I'm Jessica Whiteside. I'm a professor and the chair of the Department of Earth and Environmental Sciences here at SDSU. It's my very great pleasure to be here with you today. My research interests are wide-ranging and span from the modern world to many millions and hundreds of millions of years of Earth history, our only tape recorder of the natural conditions here on our planet. And in it all, there is a central theme of climate change and its interactions with the land, oceans, and life. My research focused particularly on molecular fossils entombed in rocks and how they speak to life's resilience in the wake of mass extinction events and extreme climate episodes. Most recently, I've been involved with the formal United Nations Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change Statement on Ancient Climate. That is how past environmental change captured in rocks throughout the world can inform our understanding of a present and future Earth, trampled by the human footprint, but not to be completely derailed, because there's power in humanity. There's power in the ability of us to work together. The Earth has been in extreme events before and has come out of it. Humans have passed the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act, and the Clean Land Act in the United States to address issues in the 1960s, and then again in the 1980s with the hole in the ozone layer with the Montreal Protocol. So we can do it and we will do it. Solutions do exist. I've always been passionate about that interface of science and action, and I've served as a climate advisor to former U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and King Charles III of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth on how our countries can lead by example in a green energy transition and a sustainable revolution.
Hi everyone, my name is Shefali Sharma, and I'm a fourth-year undergraduate student here at San Diego State, majoring in psychology with minors in cellular and molecular biology and honors interdisciplinary studies. It's an honor to be here today, especially as this year's AS Green Love representative for the AS Sustainability Commission. My passion lies at the intersection of human health and environmental well-being, especially the health of soils. As a pre-med student, I was drawn to the soil crisis because of its wide-reaching impacts on climate, food systems, water security, and ultimately public health. The UN and Food and Agriculture Organization has warned us that by 2050, 90% of Earth's soils could be degraded, threatening one of our most vital resources and one of our largest carbon sinks. Yet so few people are aware of the soil crisis. To raise awareness about this, I founded SDSU's chapter of Save Soil, a global movement that focuses on soil awareness and revitalization. Through both Save Soil SDSU and Green Love, I've worked to highlight this issue and its deep connections to sustainability and community resilience. So don't mind me if I drop a few soil facts throughout the day. We're here to keep things grounded, pun very much intended. So we'll be your Emcees for today. Let's dive in.
So to kick things off, we'd like to begin with a land acknowledgement. For millennia, the Kumeyaay people have been a part of this land. This land has nourished, healed, protected, and embraced them for many generations in a relationship of balance and harmony. As members of the San Diego State community, we acknowledge this legacy. We promote this balance and harmony. We find inspiration from this land, the land of the Kumeyaay.
So thank you so much for joining us. We have 4 exciting sessions today, from academics to student leadership, and giveaways including 2 free round-trip tickets flying Alaska Airlines. So scan this QR code if you'd like to refer back to our agenda for the day. And then here's a map where you can find the nearest hydration station and bathrooms outside. And this is a zero waste event. Place all compostable items in the green waste bins. And be sure to participate in our activities and visit the tables in the lobby. After the sessions, we'd love for you to join us for social hour in the reception area in the back.
It's now time to honor this year's Sustainability Champion Award winners. To honor their commitment and leadership, Bryce Wall, a very talented graduate student in the Jewelry and Metals in the School of Fine Art and Design, has design awards made from repurposed wood and keys.
Bryce shared his inspiration for creating these beautiful and meaningful awards. Here are his words. The awards presented today are designed to honor and represent the commitment to sustainability embodied by the recipients. The wood is salvaged American walnut. It has been reclaimed from a 200-year-old home in Philadelphia and student projects right here at SDSU. Similarly, the metal has been recycled from discarded keys and student scrap. The main element, the oak leaf in the center, was originally the single leaf from the oldest oak on campus, right next to the trolley stop. The incomplete character of the leaves is first and foremost a reminder that any effort to make a difference, no matter how small, is worthwhile. Secondly, it is a reminder that the work of sustainability itself is never finished, but this does not mean that it's not worth cherishing and preserving. Instead, as the metal impacts the wood, these efforts are felt anywhere the awardees are present. So please give a round of applause for Bryce's amazing work.
As you can imagine, it was very difficult to select only 4 individuals, but these people set the example for the future of sustainability on our campus, something that I'm sure you all value as important work. In fact, SDSU has been ranked among the top 50 U.S. green colleges by the Princeton Review for 2025, and the top 5 for student populations over 20,000. This recognition no doubt highlights our 4 sustainability champions today, as well as President Adela and SDSU's ongoing commitment to sustainability across our campus and the community. It is my great pleasure to thank President Adela for leading by example and for being with us here today to introduce the summit and to pass out these awards to these well-deserving champions. Please join me in welcoming to the stage President Adela.
Good morning and welcome to San Diego State University's 3rd Annual Sustainability Summit. It's truly inspiring to see everyone in the room today who deeply care about the planet, our future, and our responsibility to protect both. Whether you're a student, faculty, staff member, or community member, thank you all for being here today. I also wanted to offer my special thanks to the President's Sustainability Advisory Committee. If you see any members of the committee and other volunteers today, please take a moment to thank them. They've really done a tremendous work, so let's just give them a round of applause. Now, for many of you, sustainability is not new to SDSU. It's really woven into our values and who we are. So it's incumbent on us to build with sustainability in mind, to grow with sustainability in mind, and to think differently. And even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, we need to have it focused at the center of our discourse. Now, we've earned recognition for our efforts. As was mentioned, we have dramatically reduced our environmental footprint, and our campus features more than a dozen LEED certified buildings, visible reminders of our long-lasting commitment to environmental responsibility. You only need to look at the ARC and be inspired by the commitment of our associated students in ensuring that we were leaders in terms of a LEED building. We've also participated in first complete year of the California Higher Education Efficiency Program, which has resulted in a 5% overall energy use reduction on our campus. So this has also had great economic impacts. Because of this, we've been able to save $325,000 this past year. As I mentioned, Associated Students is particularly committed in implementing energy efficiency and renewable energy measures in the ARC, and in 2024, it reduced their electricity consumption by 34%. So every dollar and amount of energy saved is vital given our precious university and natural resources. These are only a few highlights. You'll hear many more throughout the day to include an exciting session with Naleli Kobo, our inspiring keynote speaker, who has been an environmentalist since age of 9. You'll also hear from others on and beyond our campus on how they're driving sustainability for a thriving future. So I invite each of you to take a few minutes today or in the coming days to sit in reflection, Today is both a celebration of how far we have come and a moment to reflect on what more we can do together. At a time when the world moves very fast, in fact, it sometimes can seem chaotic, the values associated with sustainability ask us to pause, to notice, to reflect, to consider not just what we take, but what we leave behind. It invites us to move from overconsumption to connection and from short-term gains to long-term opportunities. Think about your daily choices and the choices you make when no one is watching. What are some of the ways that you can become an even greater steward and advocate in support of sustainability efforts? With that in mind, it's my great honor today to recognize our 4 sustainability champions with Vice President Chris Manning. Chris, will you please join me here for the award presentation?
Good morning, everyone. It's so great to see you. Starting off the day with some great stuff. Before we get into anything, I'd like to thank all the folks who organized this today. I see our organizers sitting around us, as well as all the folks who were responsible for putting up the stage, the food, everything else, etc. Without those folks, this day can't happen. And if you haven't gone back there and taken a look at their presentations already, do so. There are some really great ones. I was particularly interested in this one that talked about using microbes for extracting minerals for the production of scientific technology, which really connects in with our Lithium Valley project, as well as one connecting to Oaxaca, looking at native languages and food sustainability. So make sure that you get back there. In any case, as the Vice President for Student Affairs and Campus Diversity, I am dedicated to supporting the success, personal growth, and overall well-being of SDSU faculty, staff, and students. This work goes hand in hand with our sustainability efforts that balance developing our environment, economic, and equity efforts here at SDSU. It's an honor and privilege to recognize 4 outstanding sustainability champions today with President Torre. The Sustainability Champion Award is given annually to a staff, faculty, alumni, and student that have each shown leadership in sustainability and have had an immense and positive impact on the SDSU community through leadership, mentoring, collaboration, dedication, and initiative. Let's start with the staff award winner. Our staff winner is Janet Park, Department Coordinator for Speech, Language, and Hearing Sciences. Let's give her a round of applause. Janet leads the way in her own sustainability practices. She conserves her vegetable and fruit peels and walks across campus once a week to put them in the university compost collector. She reuses the same small bottle of milk and replenishes it at home regularly, so she always has milk with her tea and doesn't waste bottles or milk. She always brings her own lunch from home, creates minimum waste all around, and makes sure that her department also minimizes waste in many ways. We all know that we need role models to help us see the best ways to act and to give validity to the things that we want to do. I want to give a big thank you to Janet for doing that for her community and for all those who are around her. Let's give a round of applause. And Janet, there you are. Let's move over to get the photo. One more round of applause, please. Our faculty winner is Dr. John Love. Dr. Love's research focuses on innovative solutions for sustainable food systems. His dedication extends into the classroom, and he has played a pivotal role in advancing sustainability across the SDSU campus by fostering interdisciplinary collaboration. His course, Chem 162, broadens students' understanding of sustainability, reaching a diverse audience from multiple disciplines. Beyond teaching, he collaborates with faculty from the College of Health and Human Services, Sciences, Arts and Letters, and Business to integrate sustainability-focused research and teaching initiatives. Additionally, as the advisor for the environmental sciences major, he mentors students pursuing sustainability-related academic and professional pathways. He is also the leader and co-director at the SDSU Center for Better Futures, where he has been instrumental in fostering interdisciplinary research collaborations and securing over $6 million in funding to support students in sustainability-related fields. Congratulations, and thank you, John. Let's give him one more round of applause. Our alumni winner, Risa Barron, earned degrees in public administration and political science at SDSU that prepared her well for a successful career in essential public services, including water, energy, and environmental services. She has more than 25 years of experience in public affairs, community relations, and communications at the San Diego County Water Authority, San Diego Gas and Electric, and the City of Coronado. Barron currently works as Municipal Manager for Republic Services of San Diego. Risa is an enthusiastic advocate for SDSU. She has served on the Alumni Association Board for over 10 years, most recently as president. Barron is currently an advisory board member of the Campanile Foundation, which is the philanthropic arm of the university. In her university leadership roles, Risa strongly advocates for mentoring and encourages fellow alumni to mentor students and young alumni. She herself mentors numerous students in SDSU's sustainability major. Congratulations, and thank you, Risa. Thank you. One more round of applause. Our student winner is Chase Duncan. For the past 3 years, Chase Duncan has been deeply involved in San Diego State University's Industrial Training Assessment Center, SDSU ITAC, progressing from a student participant to the lead student in his final year. ITAC is a nationwide program funded by the U.S. Department of Energy. While ITAC traditionally focuses on manufacturing, Chase helped to expand its reach to non-industrial buildings, including SDSU's geology, mathematics, and computer science buildings, where key opportunities for energy conservation on campus were identified. Additionally, under his leadership, ITAC is now exploring partnerships with tribal communities to provide energy efficiency assessments and tailored solutions. Also, as lead student, he took responsibility for training and mentoring 15 students, teaching them how to identify energy waste, collect field data, develop solutions, use Excel for complicated calculations, and write professional reports. Chase has consistently gone beyond routine to strengthen SDSU's ITAC, not only by developing innovating engineering solutions, but also by expanding the program's reach and mentoring the next generation of sustainability leaders. Let's give a big congratulations and thank you to Chase. One more big round of applause. Well, on behalf of the university, we'd like to thank all of the award winners and their tremendous contributions to this vital cause.
Again, congratulations, awardees. Weren't they inspirational? Let's give another round of applause. Thank you again, and please enjoy the summit. So thank you.
We're wondering if it would be possible for all awardees to come up and just take a group picture. We would love to, again, just recognize all the awardees.
If it was a mold, they'd all be the same.
Thank you for being such a great partner. This is the first non-poll. Nice. Well, you're going to get a lot more if you keep this up.
Thank you again to our champions. The subcommittee had a really hard time choosing one award winner in each category with so many dedicated climate champions to choose from. Please give a round of applause to these other high-scoring staff, faculty, alumni, and student Sustainability Champion Award nominees. And if you're here today, please stand up. We applaud you for your dedication. And before each session, you will notice these moments of Zen photos to bring a little nature inside. These are all photos of abundant natural beauty we enjoy in California.
It's my pleasure to introduce our first session from the President's Sustainability Advisory Committee, discussing key campus initiatives and goals. The committee helps to make sustainability part of our ongoing education, research, operations, and outreach programs at SDSU. In other words, our everyday normal behavior. Please scan the QR code on the screen to submit any questions. If you'd prefer to write questions down, we do have index cards that are available on the table to my right here. We'll make every attempt to answer your questions today. If we don't have time to get to your particular questions, the event organizers and the speakers will follow up after the event, so don't worry, hold tight. Now over to the session moderator, Professor of Marketing, and co-founder of Brightside Produce, Iana Castro.
Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to be here as the co-chair of the President's Sustainability Advisory Committee to introduce our first set of presentations. The President's Sustainability Advisory Committee came out of our strategic plan from 2020 to 2025 to find ways to elevate sustainability within the campus. It reports directly to President Torre, and its charge is to oversee sustainability activities, elevate all of the amazing work that is being done, and find ways to improve collaboration between students, faculty, staff, and community members. Part of our charge is also to put together this wonderful event, so thank you so much for being here today. I am going to go ahead and pass it on to our first group of presenters who are going to be talking about different projects that different subcommittees within the President's Sustainability Advisory Committee worked on during this academic year. Thank you.
All right, so good morning, everyone. I'm Kristin Larson. I'm the Director of Energy and Sustainability here at SDSU. So wonderful to see you all here. I'm so happy to be here as well. So I'm the chair of our Climate Action Plan Subcommittee for the President's Sustainability Advisory Committee. And we've been working over the past year on our Climate Action Plan. And for some of you, you might not know what a Climate Action Plan is yet, and that's okay. So just briefly, that is a roadmap of how we can reduce our emissions here at SDSU and how we can reduce our climate impacts, increase how resilient we are. So it's a pathway to do that. And we did have a previous Climate Action Plan. It was a 5-year plan from 2017 to 2022. To 2022. And so we're looking forward to the next 5 years, 2025 to 2030. So our committee has been hard at work getting that done. If you were here last year at our summit, our second annual summit, we collected a lot of comments from you all. 115 comments were collected from stakeholders. We did take that feedback, and we have been working over the summer. In summer 2024, we have written the document itself, got photos together, outlined the current conditions where we are as a university, where we want to be. In the fall, we were really refining some of the actions that we had, setting timelines to them, assigning lead unit responsibilities, and now we've really been doing some final copy editing and graphic design. So we do have copies in the back if you haven't seen it yet. If you go back in the corner right there, it says Climate Action Plan. There are some draft copies there. It's not completely finalized yet, but we wanted to show you that progress. And so really what our committee is looking towards into the next year is how do we implement this plan? So once we get that approved, we want to implement it, and we need everyone's help. So faculty, students, staff, alumni, everyone. So our committee today is just going to go over how you can engage in that plan. So I'm going to turn it over to our faculty member, Jessica Barlow, and she's going to kick us off here.
Hi everyone, Jessica Barlow, Professor of Sustainability in the Department of Geography. I'm going to talk about a lot of the different ways that campus community and particularly faculty can engage with the goals of the Climate Action Plan, and so I'll share a few of these with you. For those faculty members, for example, who run research labs, you can participate in the Green Labs certification program, which involves the Green Labs intern from OES, Office of Energy and Sustainability, guiding you through a self-assessment to determine your lab sustainability rating and areas for growth. Regarding classes, efforts are underway to establish a sustainability course designation in order to increase awareness of and accessibility to existing sustainability-related courses on campus, something that our students are regularly asking for. You can also participate in sustainability-related community engagement activities through your teaching, scholarship, and service. For instance, the Center for Academic Community Engagement, or ACE, provides opportunities to support civic engagement and leadership development for SDSU faculty, staff, and students. They can assist you with revamping your courses to officially designate them as service learning or community engagement, and they can provide mini grants to support some of these efforts. You can also participate in the SAGE project, which connects your existing courses to campus-wide community partnerships to work on local projects through your classes. And your class does not need to have any specific sustainability, community engagement, or service learning designation to do that. The university library has an extensive repository and list of sustainability-related resources that are available to support the campus community. The site also provides detailed information regarding the efforts that the library is undertaking to towards sustainability, and how this is informed by the library's strategic plan and the broader SDSU and CSU sustainability policies. They in fact are participating in the Sustainable Libraries Initiative certification program, which is a benchmark system that allows them to identify where they might have challenges and areas for growth. And as part of these combined efforts, the library has a Sciences and Sustainability librarian. I just saw her, but now I don't see her. Anyway, Sarah Triplehorn, and it's hard to see from up here. She serves on this and other sustainability-related committees on campus, and also she and her green team at the library, they work hard to support continuing campus efforts for integration of sustainability into the curriculum. Another way to support sustainability on campus is to help with and help reach our CAP goals is to consider the sustainability of your courses in terms of cost of textbooks. So, for example, the SDSU bookstore has a number of initiatives supporting reducing the costs of textbooks. We have this Day One Ready program, which is a digital first flat rate course materials program for all undergraduate students. It provides each student access to all of their required course materials before the first day of class at a flat rate of $21.50 per unit. There's also a zero course materials program that's in response to the California State Senate Bill 1359, which requires CSU campuses to highlight courses that exclusively use course materials that are free. So if you teach a zero cost course, you make sure you let the bookstore know, because this is part of a documentation. So these, you can go to the next slide. These are just, oh, I can do it right here. There we go. So these are just a few of the ways that we can do our part through academic and endeavors to support a campus. So you want to think sustainably in your teaching, research, and service by following some of these guidelines here. And now I will turn it over to Casey, who will talk about transportation.
Thank you, Jessica. I'm Casey Rothenberger, and I'm with SDSU Global Campus, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how staff can get engaged in sustainable practices. One of the major ways that we all contribute to the carbon footprint is commuting to and from campus and to the workspace. SDSU offers a commute share van pool in partnership with Enterprise. This is a partnership with also a subsidy from Sandag, and they are currently looking for riders from the San Ysidro, Chula Vista, Poway, Oceanside, Marietta and Temecula, and Imperial Valley. This reduces wear and tear on personal vehicles and includes complimentary fuel. You've also probably all seen Zipcar on and around campus. Zipcar offers a complimentary $25 membership fee, or you can use $25 towards a credit if you sign up. Another large opportunity that Parking and Transportation Services has partnered with is a monthly MTS pass. This is a pre-tax payroll deduction opportunity for you to have an MTS monthly pass to transit to and from campus, but also anywhere around the city. Within our office spaces, SDSU offers green office certifications. There are 4 levels: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. You can sign your office up to be recognized on the sustainability webpage and also receive the badge for green office certification. We can also reduce our use in our office space by turning off lights in conference rooms or offices where there's natural light or when they're not in use. By wearing layers to campus, we know that temperatures fluctuate throughout the day in the office buildings, so wearing layers and reducing the need for space heaters. Printing double-sided or not printing at all, and using electronic resources. Another large impact to waste on campus is food and beverage. I think many of us, all if you're like me, have multiple water bottles that are reusable, so bringing those to campus or leaving some in your office that you can reuse and fill at the many hydration stations around campus, as well as coffee mugs. Eating at the Faculty Staff Club. The Faculty Staff Club uses sustainably and locally sourced homegrown foods, so locally sourced that if you walk outside the Faculty Staff Club, you'll see the garden, and there are many gardens around campus that contribute to the food use. There's minimal to no waste at the Faculty Staff Club, and membership includes a reusable beverage container that you can use throughout the day for beverages that are complimentary with your membership. This limits the need for single-use beverage containers as well as food containers. You can also, as you learned from one of the awards recipients, pack your lunch. Use your reusable containers from home every day. Bring them to work. Many of the office spaces have microwaves and ways to heat up your food, and that way you reduce the use of single-use materials and the need for waste. SDSU also offers a composting program, and you can have composting bins delivered to your office. Our Arts and Letters building is the first fully compostable building on campus, so you can sign your office up. And quickly, there's ways to host zero-waste meetings, much like today. You can request RSVPs to meetings, so you have a precise number of materials that you need, whether it be food, handouts, materials, electronic distribution of materials, as I mentioned, so you're not printing out PowerPoint slides. You can distribute those ahead of time. Reusing name placards, the plastic materials that you have on your badges, you can reuse those and ask people to return them. And then serving food in bulk or buffet style to reduce the need for single-use bag or box lunch materials. Now I'm going to introduce Peyton Harmon, who's going to share about how students can really engage in sustainable practices.
Okay, good morning everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Peyton Harmon. I'm the lead student assistant for the Office of Energy and Sustainability. I'm really excited to share some ways that students can engage with our climate action plan. So before we begin, I know climate action can be a bit overwhelming at times, but I provided some simple ways that we can get started, and throughout the day, if you'd like to refer to some of these little practices that you can take part in, please do. For starters, sorting your waste. It's very simple, and SDSU has made it really easy by implementing compostable utensils at some of our dining locations, such as the garden and also East Commons. So what does this mean? This means that after you're done eating, you can easily take your compostable utensils and put it in the green bin. And this reduces waste from going to the landfills, and that means that we can build less landfills. Also, I have a little bonus that everyone should look into SDSU's community garden. This shows how regenerative compost actually is, and it shows how it's a full circle and can go from trash to making your own food. Next, transportation. How do we get places? First, I did want to point out that transportation is one of the most, it's the highest carbon emissions for SDSU. And this just means that walking, biking, taking the trolley, and skating is more important now than ever. I challenge everyone to at least try to walk, bike, skate, or use the trolley at least once this semester or this week. Okay. Now, instead of beyond your individualism, it's important to connect with your like-minded peers, people that are passionate about sustainability. So how can you do this? You can get involved. There are a lot of student leadership organizations on campus. For example, we have Green Love and Save Soil. These are great experiences that can allow you to gain experience in project management, event planning, and even network with other people. Additionally, the Office of Energy and Sustainability, Housing, Brightside, they all offer internship positions that you can gain more experience. In closing, I did want to mention that our final climate action plan document is coming soon. If you look in the back, we have our draft documents. Please take a look, and we would love to get all of your input. If you'd like to scan these links up here, we have some informational resources that you can refer to. Also, our email is sustainable@sdsu.edu. If you have any input, we would love to hear it. Now I'd like to introduce Mitchell and Josh to the stage.
Hello, good morning everybody. My name is Mitchell Brandelis. I'm a fourth-year sustainability student, and I'm the Zero Waste Assistant at the Office of Energy and Sustainability.
And my name is Joshua Ulick. I'm the Director of Procure to Pay here at the university.
And we're going to talk about the student-selected topic for the subcommittee, which is all about zero waste. And before we get into some of the projects that we've worked on, I want to talk about some important context of how the subcommittee came to be and some of the goals that we've been working towards. So like I said, this was a student-selected topic, meaning students were surveyed on what kinds of problems they want to see us work on around campus, and zero waste came up multiple times. It's clear that students are passionate about sustainable consumption and zero waste and waste diversion, so we want to work towards that and give them more opportunities to be sustainable. Because zero waste is a complicated issue, we brought in representatives from different areas around campus. So we have people from housing, from dining, associated students, Procure to Pay, and the Office of Sustainability, Energy and Sustainability, all working together on these solutions, and that's worked out well, as you'll hear in a moment. One important goal we want to work on is reducing the upstream and downstream impacts of purchasing around campus. And what that means is upstream impacts are environmental impacts that take place before a product reaches the consumer. So this is anything like mineral extraction, production, processing, transportation, etc. And what happens is we see these negative impacts like greenhouse gas emissions, contaminated runoff, and toxic waste, among many others that we want to reduce. And purchasing products that will lessen these impacts is the first step. The same thing goes with downstream impacts. These are anything that take place after the product reaches the consumer, throughout its life cycle, and up until its disposal. And we see, again, greenhouse gas emissions, we see different kinds of pollution, and one of the biggest impacts we see is landfill plastics. And that's one goal that we've been working towards because we really want to reduce it across campus, and we think that's a very reasonable goal to achieve. In order to reach that goal, though, we need to focus on recycling and composting around campus. The key to recycling is to keep the contamination out of the recycling stream. Otherwise, it leads to all sorts of issues. We also want to promote the reuse, refurbishing, and repurposing of products to extend a product's life cycle, keep it out of the waste stream for as long as possible, and then you also reduce how much you're consuming and how quickly. It's a similar story with composting. We want to keep the composting stream pure of contamination, and we also want to compost as much as possible. If composting ends up in the landfill, that leads to methane production when the organic material decomposes, and methane acts as a greenhouse gas that's even more potent than carbon dioxide, so we want to reduce that. There's also some localized benefits with composting, such as fertilizer production or biofuel production, so those are future goals to work towards as well. The main issue we see with these is that people often get confused on what they can and can't recycle and what they can and can't compost. In order to solve this, it's important to look up what your local waste hauler accepts, because it differs between companies and also between regions. So for campus, we use a company called EDCO, and their website has a list of everything you need to know and important infographics on what they accept. So with that context in mind, I'd like to hand it over to Josh to talk about some of our subcommittee's accomplishments.
Thank you very much. Mitchell actually brings up a good point about the recycling piece and thinking about what actually can be recycled and the contaminants. I don't think I actually thought about that before joining this committee. I would kind of indiscriminately say like, oh yes, in my mind this seems like something that can be recycled, until I actually went and read through the recycling allowances for the company that I use, and some of the items I was putting in there were not allowed, so great thing to keep in mind. Now that you got to learn a little bit more about some of the background, I'll talk about what the committee has done. So the housing, Procure to Pay, Superstar Sustainability student, and Procure to Pay, we got together and looked at a training that could be built. Individuals at the university, whether they're using Oracle or purchasing cards, have to go through a training before they can get access to one of those vehicles. And inside that training, we added an additional module that touches on food and food packaging, equipment and technology, furniture, as well as textiles and office supplies. Each of these different purchasing points has sustainability items that can either be put into them or kind of put into your thought process when you're thinking about going through and purchasing those items. So this module now is built into the CSU Learn that you have to go through as one of those kind of checkpoints, just as a refresher and an item, so it's in your mind, fresh, as you go and begin your purchasing journey for the university. Another thing that we had done, and this actually came as we got together as a committee, and from the shops side, they were actually already using something like this, but then stateside dollars, we didn't actually have something like this in our RFP process already. So that's one of the great things about the committee is the sharing of ideas. Within the university, somebody might have an awesome idea, but sharing that idea is what helps it grow and become something amazing. We got together and worked on some new language that went in the request for proposals that the university issues out. And requests for proposals are when we're putting out a request to potential suppliers to supply something back, either a good or service to the university. This language that was added and inserted into the new request for proposals touches on compliance, alignment of goals, as well as vendor proposed ideas. And that was one of the great things that came from Duane's team in the shop side, was that vendors can actually propose things that we might not have even thought about ourselves. And that's something we're really excited about. Then you might ask, how can you get involved? Because this is really where one can become many, and that's where we need this to be able to continue to swell and move forward. You can continue taking initiative to learn about sustainability, and the reason why we wanted to say continue is because you're all here today, so you've already begun it, and it's how do you continue to do that. Next, how do you think about the product impact, including what Mitchell was talking about, the upstream and downstream impacts. Because many times we think about like, okay, what is it happening to me right now? But you don't really think about all of the mining and smelting and all of these processes that go into actually producing the product, and then all of the things that happen once you're no longer using that product. So just having that holistic mindset is really important, and just kind of keeping that in there. Then pay attention to sustainable products. You want to really think about that when you're going through and consuming and say like, okay, what is the sustainability of this product? And the president even brought up something earlier I thought that was pretty impactful is like, do we even need to purchase this thing? Because that's another way that you can be sustainable is like lack of purchasing, saying like, do we need all of these items? So something else to keep in mind. You want to be conscious of how you dispose of your waste. You also want to talk about sustainability, exactly what we're doing today. The more that you talk about it, the more it stays front of mind, and then the better you're able to take action on it. And then lastly, join Green Love. That's one of the things that all the students and individuals can get involved in by joining, and then you could go through and do some of those things that were listed above. So. Again, this topic was one of the student proposed topics. So if you have ideas for next year, because what I talk about on my team and then probably university as a whole, I don't come up with most of the great ideas on my team. They come from somebody on the team. I just help take that idea, propagate, and run with it. So if you have a great idea for next year, please scan the QR code and propose your idea. We would love to hear about it. And I'll pause here for a moment so individuals could scan the QR code and propose. This will also be available later. All right, appreciate it. Next, we want to turn it over to Rylie.
Hi everyone, my name is Rylie Ridpath and I'm the current Green Love Commissioner as well as a member of the Communication and Education Subcommittee. Thank you guys all so much for being here today. So I'm going to talk about the Communication and Education Subcommittee, or CNE. So first of all, why was it formed? So SDSU has been doing many things to improve our sustainability internally that a lot of the times the out-facing students and people coming to the community do not see, so they think we're not doing anything. So we formed this subcommittee to make sure that the campus community is aware of current sustainability topics, sustainability events, and accomplishments. In sum, we have not done enough to make sustainability part of the educational experience at SDSU. So again, just three more bullet points of our three main goals with the subcommittee. So we want to develop educational campaigns targeted to the campus community for sustainability initiatives taking place across campus. These include programs, initiatives, classes, or research projects. Additionally, we want to elevate campaigns that have already been created by sharing information with the campus community. And finally, we want to collaborate with communication specialists such as strategic communications across the university to get information out using different forms. So here is one of the specific ways that we've been promoting sustainable education across campus. Dr. Yu, who is one of our subcommittee members, awarded 21 scholarships this semester for a plant-based nutrition certificate. And this is open to everyone, and that is the QR code for the scholarship application. It closes April 18th, and the scholarship is presented in English, Spanish, and soon in Mandarin. So this is a really cool way to further sustainable education on campus. And then the second way that this semester we have promoted sustainable education is through producing a video on implementing zero waste events through Greenlove. And this video will be shown to all registered student organizations to teach them how to correctly plan a zero waste event like the one you're at today. So we're gonna watch the video. As student leaders at SDSU, we have a unique opportunity to lead by example in promoting sustainability on our campus and beyond. We are a part of Greenlove, the Associated Student Sustainability Commission, and today we'll share with you a comprehensive guide on planning and implementing zero waste events, ensuring we minimize our environmental footprint and comply with California waste reduction laws as an SDSU community.
Zero waste is a mindset used to minimize environmental harm, such as landfill overflow, air and water pollution, climate change, and depletion of natural resources.
Zero waste is not about achieving perfection. It's about making mindful choices to reduce using unnecessary natural resources and to avoid sending more waste to the landfill. It involves considering both upstream impacts, such as the extraction and manufacturing of goods, and downstream impacts, such as the disposal of these goods. Our ultimate goal is to avoid creating landfill waste through thoughtful planning and event operations.
In California, sustainability is reinforced by laws such as Senate Bill 1383 and Senate Bill 1335. These laws mandate that all food service packaging in state-owned facilities be reusable, recyclable, or locally compostable. At SDSU, these statewide regulations apply to all food service operations, including events, which means we have a responsibility to adopt a zero-waste mindset in our leadership roles.
Planning a zero waste event might seem daunting and costly, but we're here to share that it doesn't have to be. Here are the steps. Step 1, simplify material use. The first way you could do this is through uniform selection of materials. Provide materials to your event attendees that are either reusable or verified compostable. This reduces confusion and the risk of contaminating the compost and recycling streams. Remember to consider all items, even those often overlooked, such as sauce packets, creamer cups, and stir sticks.
And through vendor collaboration, if you're working with SDSU catering or external vendors, ensure they plan on using packaging and serviceware that meets compostability standards, which we will describe next. If the vendor does not use acceptable packaging, supply them with pre-approved compostable alternatives. Many vendors offer mostly compostable materials, but few items usually do not comply.
Step 2, verify compostability with waste haulers. Through understanding hauler capabilities, SDSU partners with a waste management company called EDCO for waste hauling services. EDCO's commercial composting facility efficiently processes food waste and natural fibers, but they cannot break down materials known as bioplastics. This is a type of plastic synthesized by manufacturers out of modified biological materials, unlike food or natural fibers. While bioplastic products are not made out of fossil fuels like normal plastics are, these items are neither compostable nor recyclable at SDSU and should be avoided. This is confusing for consumers like us because the labels on bioplastic products usually say compostable, even though every city's disposal infrastructure is unique and might not be able to actually compost that item.
Through selecting preferred materials, opt for fiber and pulp-based disposables like bamboo, paper, wood, bagasse, and parchment. When choosing paper products, avoid those coated with paraffin wax as it's not compostable. Instead, select items with PLA coatings. Although PLA is a bioplastic, in thin coatings, it decomposes properly at EDCO's facility.
Through responsible sourcing, choose items that are made from renewable raw materials. Look for FSC certified paper and bamboo products, indicating that the materials were harvested responsibly.
Step 3, opt for bulk serving options. For beverage service, serve water and other drinks using dispensers with compostable or reusable cups. For coffee and tea, provide bulk sugar in bowls with spoons and creamers in reusable carafes, eliminating the need for single-use packets. For food service, instead of individually packaged snacks, purchase items like granola, trail mix, or candy in bulk. Serve them in large reusable containers with appropriate utensils.
Step 4, equip venues with proper waste management. Collaborate with the custodial staff. Before your event, meet with the custodial team to discuss the waste streams for the items you'll be using. This ensures that it can help minimize the contamination of compost and recycling containers during cleanup. Strategic placement of bins. If all disposables at your event are compostable, consider placing only green compost bins throughout the venue. Cover or remove recycling and landfill bins to simplify the waste disposal experience for attendees.
Clear signage. Use prominent signs to guide attendees toward proper waste disposal. Clear instructions help prevent contamination and ensure waste is processed correctly.
By incorporating these practices into our event planning, we not only meet state regulations, but also cultivate a culture of sustainability at SDSU. It's crucial that we take action to ensure our planet thrives for future generations. Together, we can make our campus a leader in environmental responsibility.
For more information and resources, visit the Green Love Zero Waste Guide on the Associate Students website at as.sdsu.edu/greenlove/zerowaste.
Thank you for your dedication to a sustainable future.
Yeah, so thank you guys for watching that video. That was just an example of how the CNE subcommittee is working with student leaders on campus to further sustainable education. So coming soon for the CNE subcommittee, we are going to be doing tabling events. We are working on creating a zero waste pledge for students to sign to make it more of a zero waste culture on campus. And we have the AS Swap Shop next Tuesday, April 22nd, which is an amazing way to help divert clothing waste from the landfill and instead have students swap their clothes and actually be conscious about what they're wearing and where it's going at the end of its life. And finally, composting expansion across campus that will be working over the summer. So thank you guys so much. And now I would like to welcome the funding subcommittee.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Devrim Kaya. I am an assistant professor of environmental health at Public Health Imperial Valley, and I am also a member of the funding strategy subcommittees. My research focuses on bridging the sustainability, public health, and environmental resilience. And it's a pleasure to join you today to discuss how we can turn great sustainability ideas into funded realities. How this work? Okay. So before we dive into the strategies, let's ground ourselves with a simple truth. Every innovative sustainability initiative, no matter how creative or impactful, ultimately requires funding to get off ground and scale. Whether we are talking about electrical vehicle infrastructure, reducing campus emissions, or creating resource-efficient operations. None of this happens without aligning our financial practices with our sustainability goals. And this talk about how we can strategically align and responsibly fund our sustainability transformation at SDSU. So the great news is, sorry, I think I want to go back. How do I go back? Okay. So the great news is we are already seeing results. Over the last 3 years, we have successfully funded 10 diverse projects with awards ranging from $1,000 to $700,000, totaling about $1.4 million. And half of these directly supported by electrical vehicle charging stations, aligning with our future mobility goals. Over 20 additional proposals are currently in progress with the potential to bring in over 3 million additional sustainability investments. And our funding sources are diverse. As you can see in this pie chart, while grants lead the way, we also benefit from the donations, state incentive programs, and utility-based savings. And this reflects strategic, partnership-based approach to funding. Sorry, I'm having difficulty with not moving. Okay. So how can you start? Where can you start and find these funding opportunities? So we have curated a live and evolving database of climate and sustainability-related funding opportunities for students, faculty, staff, and campus units. So you can just scan this QR code and to access the resources on grants, incentive programs, internal funding opportunities. If you are not sure where to begin, this page can be your guidance and launchpad. So we are here also to support and guide your proposal ideas. So to talk about some best practices for economic efficiency and sustainable resources practices. So best practices that go beyond saving money. These actively support our sustainability mission. And one of them is collaborative purchasing across departments to reduce the unit cost and packaging wastes. Another one is demand-driven procurement. So this would be based on confirmed attendances, RSVPs, minimizing over-ordering and excess storage. And another way to share infrastructure, such as in departments there are multiple idle instruments, and if we share these infrastructures, that would improve return in investment and reduce the redundancy. Also, collaborative grant writing would increase our competitiveness and success rate. Another one, if possible, sustainable vendor engagement. That would align our spending with our ethical and environmental values. So we have a proposal. I have seen this at other universities. So if we would enable the tax-exempt status for research and educational related purchases, that would allow grant and institutional funds to stretch further. And this already been implemented at other institutions where I worked, at University of Maryland, University of Tennessee, UCSD, and Stanford. These aren't just financial tactics, they are also sustainability strategies in disguise. So I also have a proposal. We have a committee proposal. So the vision is to establish a centralized campus-wide supply store that would provide essential scientific and office supplies to SDSU researchers, educators, and departments. So that would improve the efficiency, sustainability, and cost effectiveness. So what is it? It is modeled after I worked at Oregon State University, and I searched Berkeley has this store as well. So this is centralized supply hub would offer essential lab and office supplies, bulk commodities like dry ice, liquid nitrogen, solvents, and discounted surplus and or near expiry items. So purchases would be based on accounts. No cash or personal payments would be available on demand and reduce duplicate orders, unnecessary shipping, and shipping waste, storage waste. So from sustainability perspective, it promotes reuse and reduces the emission, our carbon footprints. From a fiscal perspective, it's just a smart budgeting. And we plan to explore feasibility and stakeholder interest in the months ahead. And thank you so much. If you have any questions, please reach out. And now I gave it to Ayana.
Thank you for all those wonderful presentations. Now we're going to ask our speakers to come up on stage so that we can have our Q&A session.
Okay, so I'm the person going through the questions here. So if you have any questions, it's not too late. You can still click on the QR code there. So first question, and this is to anyone on the panel. Are there any plans for rooftop gardens for cooling buildings?
Oh, I think AS was working on that, potentially, but I don't know the details of that. Who would? Associated students? I don't know if you want to.
I don't know. I don't know about that personally, but whoever asked the question, come talk to me later and we can talk, and I can direct you to the correct person from AS that was maybe working on that in the past.
I think we have a closed garden between life sciences buildings area.
Yeah, we have lots of gardens around campus, just no rooftop ones, and I think it's an excellent idea that we should think about.
Okay, next question. This question comes from a student. How will the President's Sustainability Advisory Committee ensure that cost of living and going to school in general are lowered for students so that students may have the financial flexibility to make more sustainable choices? They also mentioned that many students are in debt and do not have the funds to act more sustainably. So who wants to take this one? This is open to the panel.
Sure. Well, I mean, part of sustainability, so what we've been working on in our office is trying to be more energy efficient. There's things that you can do, like at my own home, I turn off all the lights, I have solar, I have native landscaping, but there's a lot of inexpensive things you can do, like now we have the compost bins from the city of San Diego at my home. So a lot of sustainability does go hand in hand with trying to save money. And I know, like Josh, you were speaking about like how just maybe not to buy something that you can reuse things. There's a lot of thrift apps. I know Rylie was talking about the thrift event coming up as well. So there's a lot you can do very low cost in order to be sustainable.
And this item is actually something that, at the end of our group's presentation, there was the idea for a new proposed student topic, and that actually might be a great place to put this thing, because it might not be something that we can answer immediately right here at this table, but it's going to take a lot of planning and thought to be able to get items proposed to address that. So this could be a great topic for next year's student proposed item.
Okay, I have one here for Rylie. How can a student or staff person get one-on-one support when planning a zero waste event?
Yay, I love that question. You can come talk to me afterwards or talk to Charlotte, who is sitting up here. But I would love to help you plan the event. And additionally, the video is a very great resource, and the website that was mentioned at the end of the video is also an amazing resource. It basically details exactly what you can do to plan a zero waste event and ensure that everything is diverted from the landfill. So I would say that is an amazing resource, and also talking to me, I'll help you.
Okay. All of a sudden, my questions, hold on just a second. I got a glitch here. Oh, here we go. Okay, so we just got flooded with questions here. Let me go here. Oh, okay, this one is for Josh. Could we post the EDCO recycling rules at waste bins? Because I think people would follow them if they could see them when throwing out trash. Thanks.
So that's something I can talk about with other individuals at SDSU. It doesn't directly come to the Procure to Pay team, but I do know some of the individuals that we can talk to about that. And this actually is something that I even brought up in the committee. When I'm going to throw away an item, and there's the 3 different bins, and they have the pictures on them, even myself, I look at it and I'm trying to be sustainable, and I'll go, can this actually go in this bin or not? So I totally get the apprehension and the, am I making the right choice, right? Like, am I putting something in this recycle bin or this compost bin that all of a sudden is going to derail, that recycling effort, that composting effort? So yeah, I think that's a good idea of like, are there other ways that we can help maybe elaborate or put more information on the bins to help make a good choice? So that's something we can definitely look at, and Duane and I can talk about options.
I've actually, I'm going to inject myself here and nerd out, go full geek, but I've actually done some observations across campus. We have about a 5 to 7 second window when students, faculty, staff throw things away. So other than that, it's like, they're done.
So then we'll try to have less words and more pictures or whatever we can
People
do.
love visuals. Yeah, exactly. Infographics are king.
Yeah,
that and QR codes.
Yeah, even those trash cans right to your right over there. I mean, there are pictures on it, but still.
That's right.
Yeah, it's confusing, so get it.
Devram, here's a question for you. Where can we access funding resources after the event?
I think we could post on our summit page. So we have a curated list, and that's an evolving and live database. And we are open to ideas if you have found search engine for grants. So we have options there like from governmental funds, from private foundational funds, and state as well. So yeah, on the QR code on the funding, if we could show it again, it was a couple slides before. So you could reach from there, but we can also put into our website, sustainability website. Here is the scan code, QR code.
Okay, I have one for the Office of Energy and Sustainability. I noticed more EV charging stations are being installed. How many new EV stations are being installed, and how many more will be planned?
Yeah, I think, so you've noticed probably at parking structure 3, 7, and also 12 and 14, we have chargers going in right now. So I think we're gonna be, once those are all installed, we're gonna be around like 75 charging stations on campus. And we're looking at other areas as well. We're looking at Calexico campus, and the Brawley site as well, and parking lot 15. So there's more coming, and yeah, by the end of this semester, hopefully about 75.
Okay, Josh, one for you again. Where can I shop for shared furniture on campus?
I actually don't have the answer to that, but if you could somehow link me up with that person, I can help get them the answer.
I will link you up.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, let's see here.
We might have...
Yeah, and I want to add something to that. We are looking for different ways to kind of join efforts and find solutions to some of these things. So things like that question, that's really useful for us to know that there's an interest and there are departments working on different things. And so part of what this committee is trying to do is bring people together so that we can come up with together sustainable ways of addressing some of these challenges. And so if you have ideas for things that you'd like to see or that you're interested in the committee working on, again, the student topic is a great way to do that, or just reaching out to us directly is a really great way to get us thinking in terms of what your priorities are.
Okay, great. Here, I got flooded with questions, everyone. I just felt like all of a sudden I'm going to keep going until somebody stops me, okay? Just wrangle me in if you need to. Okay, so I have one here for the panel. It's a long one, so I'll try to be concise here. This is about MTS passes. Has SDSU considered a program that would provide free transportation for students? The Youth Opportunity Pass allows for people under the age of 18 to get free passes. Would or could we team up with organizations to uplift these programs? If free transit is available, students may be more likely to bus or trolley, and it is great for sustainability. Parking's expensive, and so is owning a car. Public transit is an equalizer. So how does SDSU support the use of public transportation?
Yeah, that's a great question for JD. I don't know if he's here, but he's around. If whoever asked that question, so JD is our director of parking and transportation, and he's been doing a lot. He's been working with like the city of San Diego, Sandag, trying to advocate for more affordable passes. So there is like a 3-month program, I think, right now. If you want to sign up, it's on the transportation webpage just to get started. But that is actively in progress.
Also, Green Love's Transportation Subcommittee loves talking about this. So if you're interested in this and want to talk about it more and work to further this goal, please come to Green Love and the Transportation Subcommittee. They would love to talk about this.
Yeah, and I'll just say, just from historical knowledge, this is something that we've been working on for a very long time, and it is improving each year. So now we have, a way for faculty and staff, for example, to have to sign up for a transit pass through their payroll deduction, and we're continuing. There is a discount for students, and we're continuing to work on that. It's just it has to be subsidized, and finding the source of that has been the challenge so far. So.
I encourage you to look at the transportation website, because they do have a lot of programs available, and there might already exist something that might work. not just the reduced MTS, but there's the zip cars, and then there's just a number of different initiatives that are trying to address this issue. So we are working on it, lots of people are working on it, but there are things already happening, so check out the transportation website.
And I'm going to throw a shout out here because I don't know if there's anyone else who does not own a car in the audience, but I sold my car 8 years ago. We've got one, great. If anyone ever has a question about public transportation, how it works, I have San Diego County down to a science. Amtrak, Coaster, Metrolink, MTS, buses, trolley, all of it. I've been doing this 8 years. It's not scary. I mean, it took me 6 months to get it, but we actually have a pretty good transportation program in San Diego. So I'm going to do a challenge for everyone here today. If everyone can try, start with 1 day a month if you can take public transit. And then once you do that, do like 1 day every other week. And then once you do that, do 1 day a week. And I promise you're going to love it because I get lots of work done on the trolley. So, okay, next question. This is for administration. And this is about plastic waste on campus. Plastic waste has been a big topic during this panel. What are direct actions SDSU administration will take to remove this plastic from places like the Aztec Market? And how can students hold administration to this standard? Anybody going to speak on behalf of administration?
I know that we've been working on a few things that are CSU-wide policies. So I think we started with the water bottles. So if you've noticed that in Aztec shops, it's now aluminum cans for any water to reduce plastic. So that was one of the things. We have the hydration stations across campus. So if you have reusable water bottles, please use those. Those are a few things that we're doing on the plastic side. I know that there's a lot more that we can do. I think it does start from, what we're purchasing to ultimately reduce our use.
And Aztec Shops is doing work in this area as well. And as part of their website, they have a sustainability page where they highlight all of their initiatives across sustainability, but that also address this particular issue.
Yeah, I agree. This is my first year on the committee, and I have seen that Shops is actively working on this. One thing just to keep in mind, right? Sometimes I'm the person who gives a lot of bad news to people, right, at the university. But when we look at items, there are always trade-offs, and that's just something that, is reality, right? So sometimes, let's say, we can tomorrow remove all plastics, but there's going to be costs associated with it. There's going to be impacts in, all different walks. And that's where we really look at the balancing act of, how do we do it? What does it cost us? What do we gain? Evaluate the ROI. And sometimes like the immediate switch isn't necessarily the right answer. Like it is the, kind of ideological, like, hey, yes, let's do that. But we have to look at all of these different items and impacts. And I can say that yes, Shops is working on it. And it's another good item for the student proposed topic to say, hey, what are some of these items that are being done? They can be outlined. We could put it next year in the presentation. Those are all things that we would love to address.
It also depends on demand. So if you just refuse to buy these things, then they won't sell anymore and the shops will stop carrying them. That's exactly what happened with the plastic water bottles. There was a time when they continued to sell water in plastic bottles because there was a demand, and the demand just kept decreasing, and now they're in aluminum cans instead, and people are filling their water bottles. So it also happens in terms of how you, like he just said, in what you purchase and what your demand is. So try not to buy these things, and then the demand goes down and they don't carry it.
Don't let the mic go, Jessica. The next one's for you. Okay, so can you tell us more about how classes earn sustainability designations?
Great question. So this is something that we're still working on. So this is something that is going to be considered in Senate as it's an academic Senate, but it is the Senate Sustainability Committee is a subcommittee of the Senate, has proposed it to Senate, and so far there seems to be a positive response to it, but it hasn't yet been gone through as far as I'm aware, last I heard. And so, but we're hoping that it will be implemented soon, because this is something that, as I mentioned, students students are demanding, and a lot of faculty want their courses to be recognized for this. So stay tuned for that. We're hoping they'll be designated on the class schedule so that you can actually sign up for the classes knowing that that's the kind of class it is.
Okay, very interesting. This is to the panel. In what ways will the new housing and parking projects be made sustainable? How can pollution and waste be prevented during the construction process?
Yeah, for housing and parking projects? Okay.
Yep.
So this is in partnership. We have like our planning, construction and design team. So our Office of Energy and Sustainability is working with them, and then also the Transportation and Parking Office as well. So we're all collaborative on this. So early on in the design, we're getting together and we're talking about, okay, we need to meet LEED certification. We need to, meet state code as well. We need to put PV panels on to meet state code, things like that. So it's really been getting everyone involved in the design process from the beginning.
Okay. I think we have time for one more question. Iana, this is for you. How can I get involved in PSAC?
That's a great question. So PSAC, and I meant to mention this before, PSAC has representation from across campus. We have over 30 members, and that includes students, faculty, and staff, and lots of different units. And depending on where you fall on that, we have students, for example, for Green Love, they're not directly part of the committee, but they're welcome to attend committee meetings. And if you want to serve in an official capacity, you can send us an email. The process to get on the committee is we have one representative from a number of different units, and then that has to be approved by the president's office since we report directly to the president. But if you're interested in participating and being a part of all of this, please send us an email and we can tell you what the best way, based on your status on campus and what you're affiliated with, on how to get on the committee.
Am I okay? Should I do one more? What do you think? Think it's good? Okay, I think we're good. Thank you, everyone. And I should say, Kristin, I know this, I'm going to speak for Kristin here. I got flooded with questions, so for those of you who ask questions, we promise you, between Kristin and me, we will answer your questions. So you will get answers, just not right now. You'll get them from the Office of Energy and Sustainability. They'll be coming, though. Thank you.
What a great presentation. Thank you all so much. It's time for our first break, so please come back in 10 minutes. Before we begin the next session, we will have 4 opportunity drawings, and be sure to check out the tables, research posters, and CAP activity in the lobby. The next session starts at 10:40 a.m., and so see you then.